not able to go online. Hi, I am Lori Kearney. I am a certified integrative nutrition health coach with Mindful Health, and welcome to the webinar, How to Kick the Sugar Habit. I'm going to be doing a little screen share here at the same time so you can see more about how to kick the sugar habit. Welcome, everyone. So I am the owner of Mindful Health right here in Minnesota. I coach clients individually, one-on-one in their health goals. I also work with people from all over the world, whether it's over the phone, on video, but really on what works best for them. I conduct wellness workshops at corporations and organizations, and I also run a seasonal online cleanse program. And if you would like more information about me or Mindful Health, that is my website below, mindfulhealthwithlori.com. I got my education from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition and also have a degree in psychology. So today's intention is a huge one. I intend to permanently change your relationship with sugar. And I know that that sounds crazy to hear, but that is something that when you get a handle on learning about sugar and what it does to you, you'll have a better understanding of how to control your cravings. I'll be giving you a brief Sugar 101 overview, and then we're going to review the top tips on how to kick the sugar habit. At the end, I want everyone to think about one or two tips that we discussed today that you can put into action. And sometimes these tips can be more of a low-hanging fruit, something that's more easy. I think sometimes at the beginning of the year, we get all excited about a New Year's resolution, and it's a big change. And then maybe a month later, we don't accomplish that change, and we feel bad about ourselves. And for me and with my health coaching clients, it's about small changes. So picking up something that is easy to accomplish, and then going one step after another. So just a little Sugar 101 here. Basically, all it is it's our body asking for energy. And for all of you that are I see a lot of people just coming in to tuning in right now. So come on in, come into the chat room and put your name in and where you're tuning in from. And thank you for being here. And I really invite you all to really take part in today's workshop like your life depends on it. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I don't believe that we should wait till we have a disease, until we wait for some kind of diagnosis that we have to change our diet and our lifestyle. The best way to live a life is to have preventative actions, to change the diet. Then you can have the energy that you want. I have so many clients that say to me, one of the number one things is that they don't have enough energy to go to work all day and then be with their kids at night, to be actually there for them. And so much of it is about what we eat and also what we think and some of our actions. So today we're going to get a handle on what you eat, what you drink, and it's not about willpower. You don't have to feel bad about yourself or about your discipline, but it's about understanding what's causing these uncontrollable cravings. And if I look down, I have some notes because I have a lot of important information. I want to make sure that I cover everything with you today. So when you start to have some sugar, a lot of times it's because our body needs that energy. But what happens? We end up a lot of times more tired. We get that excited feeling going up, and then we drop back down. And I would love to hear in the comment box if anybody here has experienced the emotional roller coaster of sugar. I know I have. I used to be a sugar addict. I have had I would have sweet cereal with ice cream and cake and cookies put in it. And I didn't think at the time that I had an issue. I was also an addict to Diet Coke. So if I can make a huge change in my life, I know that anyone else can do it. And it's really about naturally curbing those cravings. And a lot of it today, what I'm going to talk about is what you can add into your diet. And I feel like that is a lot easier than taking away. And so Bridget says, yes, she starts her day with the Mountain Dew and she crashes at about 3 p.m. Bridget, that was exactly me. I tended to have at least 2 Diet Cokes a day. And we're going to talk a little bit more about soda because most people get a lot of their sugar from the beverages that we drink, and we don't always consider how much sugar is in those. Frances says, yeah, especially during the holidays. She was clean eating and then fell off and crashed. Yeah, even as a health coach, I mean, it's hard. When you have sugar all around, and especially all the sweets that your mom makes and your cousins that you grew up with, there's some emotions that come with food. And when you have just a little bit, it gives you a taste for wanting more. And so sugar is more of like a drug, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. I'm just going to read one more comment here. Let's see. Holly said she used to drink a 2-liter Diet Coke a day, and she would eat entire pies at one sitting. Thankfully, she doesn't do that anymore. It's more doable. Yeah. So you can think about what Kathy, what Holly has done, what I have done, and so many other people that we have been sugar addicts, and it is possible to control those cravings. And it's not about deprivation at all. It's actually the opposite. When you don't have the addiction to sugar, it's about freedom. I have the freedom to choose what I want and the amount of what I want as well. So our body is basically wanting us to maintain our blood sugar. So it's telling us to eat something to bring the blood sugar up. So the blood sugar often drops around that 3 p.m. time, a few hours after lunch. So I would love to hear from you. We have people from all over the world here tuning in. What country do you think is the biggest consumer of sweeteners? So just put in the comment box which one you think it is, and I'm going to be going back to the PowerPoint here. So yeah, a lot of people are commenting in. The answer is it's the US is the largest consumer of sweeteners. Of course it is. It is amazing though, as sugar goes into a different country, as it keeps getting introduced, our processed food, as the sugar goes up, so does their chronic disease. So yeah, we are still the largest consumer, but I bet we will not be for very much longer. So the USDA recommends that we get no more than 9 teaspoons of sugar per day. Yet most Americans eat about 30 teaspoons a day. And I actually think that this may be a little bit lower because many people and a lot of my clients and what I was eating definitely much more than 30 teaspoons a day. And so to figure things out, so there's about 4 grams of sugar per teaspoon. And Bridget, when you mentioned the Mountain Dew, do you know how many, if you have one there, just post how many grams of sugar is in a Mountain Dew? I'd be curious to know. But I do have an example of a cola here. This is 16 ounces of cola. It has 44 grams of sugar. So that's 11 teaspoons of sugar. So women are recommended more like 6 teaspoons a day. Men are about 9 teaspoons a day. So if you think about it, one soda is almost double the amount that a woman should have in a day. And a lot of times it's an afterthought when you're at a restaurant or somewhere of ordering that soda. Yeah, everyone came in with the US, and that's so good. Okay, so Bridget doesn't have one close, but she's pretty sure it's about 44 grams. Yeah, and I think it's Fanta, the orange soda. I'm just going to look at my notes here if I have it. Yeah, that has 73 grams, the orange soda. So that is over 18 teaspoons of sugar. So think about when you give your child an orange soda, and what you are actually giving them is just all this sugar. And no wonder why so many children have difficulties paying attention and being crabby as well. So sugar is absolutely addictive. There has been so much research done now that this has been confirmed. So we have, oh, let me just go back. It qualifies addictive as 2 reasons. So when you eat a little bit, it creates a desire for more. And I would love to hear from all of you. Do you feel that this is true? And if you quit sugar, you suddenly get withdrawal symptoms, maybe as headaches, mood swings, and cravings, and some fatigue. Oh, yeah. Diane said, what is a good alternative to soda besides seltzer and fruit? Diane, maybe like a kombucha would be good. That has a little bit of sugar in it, but at least it's going to be better. It has the probiotics in it. But I do love having the sparkling water, and I love doing like the frozen fruit in it, or just a little bit of kombucha in with my sparkling water. So I'm not drinking as much of kombucha a day. And yeah, Kathy says, I love water with lemon. And we're going to get to talking more about water in a little bit too. Oh, and Stephanie says Fanta Orange was her favorite. Yeah, it's crazy to learn more about this. So I'd love to hear again from you. What is your favorite? Oh, I'm having a little issue here. Share your favorite sweet food and share any of the side effects that you might notice from sugar. So do you have any issues like with headaches or mood swings, low energy, poor sleep? Sometimes too much sugar is dull skin, weight gain, maybe stress. So I just want to hear from you. What is your favorite sweet? For me, it's chocolate, and I do love my good dark chocolate, which is good. But it's hard at the holidays when you have like my mom's mint bars. I also love licorice if I can get the healthy kind. Yeah, everyone's saying chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Cookies and cake. Yes, and it makes them, they're very sleepy, crash and burn. Cookies, chocolate. Oh, she said not dark. Poor sleep if eat it after dinner. Yeah, so mint Oreos, those are all good, yummy things, right? So, and then what are some of the side effects that you might notice? A lot of times people comment that they do feel the side effects from having too much sugar. And like we talked about before, low energy is definitely one of them that we go and have hit it up high and then come right back down low. So today we're going to be talking about some top tips of how to curb the sugar craving. This is going to be about a 45-minute workshop. This could be an 8-hour workshop if I went all into the carbohydrates and simple and complex. So today's focus is going to be how can I help inspire you to limit your sugar intake and to curb those cravings. So the tip number one, it might sound a little funny, but the next tips, 11 tips, are going to support this first one, and that is to limit sugar. And it's one thing to say, I'm going to reduce my sugar intake, but what I have found with my health coaching clients, and I run a whole foods cleanse, is that the people who really have success in quitting their addiction to sugar is when there's an action plan, and that there has to be a plan of what you're going to do when you have these cravings, how you're going to add certain foods in so it is easier for you to do that. To live your best life, you have to take care of yourself. So we're going to be focusing on these daily choices. So we need to avoid or limit things like sweetened coffee. Know when you order that Frappuccino, that is a dessert that you are ordering. Candy, cookies, most desserts, because after one sip, after one bite, it makes us crave even more. So because we just got done with the holidays, I'm sure many of you have figured out that you are craving more sweets, and that's even with myself. I'm like, I am ready for a cleanse because I need to reset my taste buds because I've been eating a lot more sweets than I normally do. And sugar is okay in small quantities, but the problem that we have is that most of us have too much sugar in our diet. And most of the time it comes in the form of this sneaky sugar, this sugar that we don't even know that it's in some of the products that we're eating. And I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. But a good rule of thumb for limiting your sugar is just think about that you want to be eating a nutrient-dense diet with whole foods 80-90% of the time. And then you can have that sweet treat 10 to 20% of the time, or maybe another indulgence that you have, but focus on getting the nutrients in to support your body so you don't have the brain fog, so you're not tired and you don't have the pain in your body. So number two is avoid a artificial sugars. This one was such a huge one for me. Being a Diet Coke addict, I had no idea what I was doing to my brain when I was drinking aspartame with my Diet Coke. I had a brain injury 6 years ago from a major accident. I wasn't able to work. I was on disability, and I was thinking that I was doing everything I could to heal, but I was eating junk food and drinking Diet Coke with artificial sweeteners. And so I needed to figure out, okay, how can I avoid this? So I would much rather have you eat real sugar than anything that's artificial. So it changes your palate. And so when you have this artificial sugar, it's so sweet that it's going to make you crave even sweeter foods. And instead, we want you to have more mild foods, more vegetables, so you crave that. And people who knew me 6 years ago, they can't believe that I now crave Brussels sprouts. I always have to have those in the house because I can eat those like popcorn. So it is absolutely possible to change your palate, to reset where you're at, and to crave vegetables instead. So sugar-free products, they usually say sugar-free, or a lot of times fat-free is another word to look at when you're at a product. Diet soda, anything like that is usually going to have sugar-free. I think the story that resonates most to me is Splenda, and that it was invented by a company that was looking to make a pesticide, and it was super sweet, and now they sell it as an artificial sweetener, and that goes into our body. These are all chemicals. Our body doesn't know what to do with it. That's why it has 0 calories. But I would absolutely suggest to everyone just to stay away from artificial sugars. I'm just going to quick go to the chat room here. Kathy says, I love veggies, especially carrots. Kathy Jones says, fudge makes me have to take a nap. Oh, going back to some of the moods. Jody said headaches. Karen, headaches and mood swings. Natalie, gut rock. Stephanie says, yeah, wow. Oh, and there are some other natural sweeteners that I absolutely suggest. The top ones for me are going to be wild local honey, 100% maple syrup, dates. Those are my top 3 because they all have nutrients in them. And so it's going to give you something. Also, stevia you can use. It is super sweet, so just make sure that you adjust when you're eating any kind of stevia with your product. And there's not a lot of reports on that as well. So I wonder what's going to happen in a couple of years when we hear more about stevia, but it is all natural. So number 3 is absolutely be a label reader. This is going to be one of the best things that you can do is when you're at the store, educate yourself. I suggest when I work with my clients to get most of their meals in the produce section, but there are going to be times that you're going to want to have some processed foods. So sugar is oftentimes disguised with different fancy language. There's like 250 names, and so if it has an OSE at the end, a lot of times that is a sweetener. So think about fructose, glucose, maltose, dextrose, lactose. There's so many different ways. And if you see sugar or any of those words as one of the first ingredients, I would say stay away from it. Or if something has more than 4 grams of sugar, to also stay away from it. So how many of you, I would love to hear from you, how many of you read your labels right now, or how many of you are going to start to read your labels, knowing that you can really make an educated decision? So, oh yes, a lot of people are reducing the sugar when they're baking, which is so great. So number 4 is find the sneaky sugar. I would love to hear from you. What kind of sneaky sugar have you found? Because so many people are surprised that there is sneaky sugar, like in tomato sauce, that it's naturally sweet from the tomatoes, but a lot of times there's some extra sugar, or ketchup. So there are items that you can buy without sugar and they taste just as good, or I actually think they may taste a little bit better without the sugar. My kids do not know the difference between peanut butter with sugar added and peanut butter that is just raw right from the store. But really to be educated on looking at what you all have in sugar. I'm just going to go back to the chat room real quick to see. Oh, let's see. And this is actually a picture that I went, and it was so easy for me. I went to like the dollar store, I went to Cub Foods just to get all these things. Yeah, Jody and Bridget both said ketchup, and that is an easy one because sugar is in so many ketchups. Oh, and Francis said salad dressings. I think that is one of the biggest things. Salad dressings and yogurt, I would say, are the top two things that my clients, they say, well, I'm being healthy, I'm eating yogurt, I'm eating these salads. And then when we actually look and see what kind of dressing and what kind of yogurt they have, it's actually doing the opposite effect. And that's where marketing gets into play, that they make us think that it is healthy for us, and it's really not. So number 5 is listen to your cravings. So our bodies are sending us messages all the time. And the messages are through discomfort, and they're through cravings, they're through pain, and they can be decoded. When I was going through my healing journey from my brain injury, one of the big aha moments, and this is when I was working with a health coach on on healing, was that I needed to have my headaches. I needed to have the pain as my best friend. And I needed to listen to what was I doing to help the pain get better or make it worse, and then adjust. What was I eating that was making it feel better or worse? Sometimes the cravings are the same way. A lot of times for me, my cravings come that I'm sitting on my computer too long, and then I'm like, oh, I'm craving something sweet. Well, no, I'm really not. It's just that I've been sitting for too long, I've been inactive, and I need to just get up and move around. Some other times it might be that you just need a hug, you need to talk to somebody. There are so many different reasons that we have cravings, and we don't always take the time to press pause. Most of the time we just go and we eat right away, and we do something like that. So make sure to look at your life and maybe what you're maybe dissatisfied with, maybe what you're stressed about, maybe you're uninspired, and see what your body actually really needs at that time. So sometimes for me, it's also just not drinking enough water, but these messages are so important, and they're not something that we should ignore, whether it's cravings, it's pain, whatever it is. With my clients, a lot of times we keep a craving journal so we can really get to the heart of what is going on, and have them you can rate your cravings from 1 to 10, and you can put in notes about what the types of cravings that you are. And the first step is really awareness, that you can see what the problem is and listen to what your body is telling you in more in depth. Um, and we've been told that if we can't stick to our diet, we're like at fault. It's something we can't do, and that's not true at all. I mean, it's just really being aware here, and that we shouldn't feel worthless. Cravings are not a weakness. I think they're just important messages. So continue to feel the difference in what you eat, feel the difference in how you move, how you think throughout the day. And I think too, when we eat different foods, like think about when you eat broccoli and when you eat a steak, how do you feel different? You do. Think about when you have tequila, you're going to feel a lot different. Um, I sometimes use this analogy, and I just thought of this, but sometimes people think about, oh, sugar, it's okay to have it the kids are fine. Well, I think about tequila. Like, what about if you would serve your children or serve yourself tequila in the morning in your cereal, then you had tequila in your mid-morning snack, then you had tequila at lunch in your salad dressing, then you had it in your afternoon snack and dinner. That's crazy, right? So we don't always think about sugar in the same way that we think about alcohol or cocaine or heroin. However, neuroscience is showing us that it lights up the brain. There's dopamine. All that is the same when we have it in excess. The issue is that you might be addicted to a drug, and you're not going to have it at every party. It's not going to be at every billboard and everything like that. So it's a little bit harder. So you really have to listen to what's going on within yourself so you can decide. Most people today are on the standard American diet, abbreviated as SAD, and that leaves us sad. It leaves us depressed, and it leaves us moody because it's a processed diet, and that's the diet that I used to be on. And when you actually are on a real food diet, you are happy, you have energy. It's just people want to get lifted out of a bad mood. That's what it is, that you are wanting to have that sugar most of the time. So tip number 6 is drink water. And I would say this is a huge one, and I think this might be the easiest tip on here, that most of us are chronically dehydrated, and we often mistake thirst for hunger. So the first sign of dehydration is thirst. So we need to listen to our body's signals for that. So if you have a water next to you, let's just do a little cheers. The cheers to freedom from away from sugar cravings. And our bodies naturally detox as we sleep. And so one of the best tips I can give you is just drink a full glass of water when you wake up in the morning. A lot of times we don't have enough water to flush out the toxins. So next would be, I was just going to say too, when we drink more water, what we're doing is crowding out. We're crowding out these unhealthy cravings when you're adding water in, you're adding the vegetables in. So think about that. It's all about adding in instead of taking away for this. And if you're wondering how much water should I drink, it's typically take your body weight, divide by 2, and that's approximately how many ounces of water you should be drinking a day. Now, if you exercise a lot or live in a warm climate, for me, I do need to drink more water than what it calculates, but that's a good rough estimate because most of us are dehydrated. And if you're like, oh, that's too scary, think about replacing just one unhealthy drink a day with a glass of water. So if you drink 2 sodas a day, how would that look for you? How would that feel to take 1 soda and replace it with a water? And I have lots of detoxing water recipes in the cleanse that I run, so you can make it a little bit more fun if you think water is too plain. But think about an action plan. There are times with my clients that we will talk for a good half hour just on the plan of how to get more water in the day. So it's one thing to say you're going to do it, but really to go detailed. Are you going to use a water app? I had one client that put 8 rubber bands around a glass every day, and that was like, a third time figuring out what's going to really work for her. So think about what's going to work for you. I'm just going to go to the chat room here and see. Yeah, and Natalie said too, essential oils for water is such a good idea. Jody said the same thing. Yeah, a lot of the citrus, the orange, the grapefruits, the lemons, the limes, I love it because I might not have fresh fruit on the counter, but I always have my essential oils right there. Oh, and I love all the people saying cheers, cheers when we were doing the water. So thank you so much. Yeah, that is awesome. So number 7 is take a break. Oh my goodness. So often what we do is we are hungry or maybe we're not even hungry. We're craving the sugar. And so we just go and we just instinctively go to the fridge. We go to the cupboard. We have that bowl of cereal. We go grab the cookie. But what about if we just paused? We had our full glass of water and then we took a break. And typically about a 20-minute break would be good. And if you can get outside and exercise during that break, it's good. If you can stay away from the kitchen during that break. But really think about, are you hungry? Distract yourself. If you're at work, it would be great if you can disengage from work for a little bit and take a real break because you just may be sitting for too long. You may need a mental break. And mental health is a priority that a lot of people don't put forward a lot of times. But after a 20-minute break, if you feel like, yeah, you are still hungry, then think about what would be a good nutrient-dense snack. My favorite snack is an apple that I cut up with either some almonds or some McNuts, or also I'll do an apple with like some almond or cashew butter, because that has the perfect formula that I'll talk about in a little bit some more, of protein, fat, and fiber. Those are the 3 things to have in every meal and every snack so you can have your blood sugar stable. Yeah, Natalie says, oh, that sounds delicious. It is so delicious. And it's always good to have organic apples. So think about what would be your favorite snack. So number 8 is like, just go veg out. So eat your veggies. So we crave sometimes a lot more food because our body is starved for vegetable, or they're starved for vitamins. And so when we, oh, let's see, I'm just getting, the chat room is in front of my screen here. Okay. So we need to focus on adding 1 to 2 servings of vegetables at each meal. So think about a day when you just ate junk food all day. Maybe you're on vacation, you were somewhere, and you just couldn't eat enough because your body was not getting any nutrients. So it just kept saying, you need to feed me because I need it. Our society is malnourished and overweight, and that doesn't sound like they should go together, but they do. So post your favorite veggies. Let's hear it. As you know, mine are probably Brussels sprouts, but I also love spinach and carrots and peppers. And I love trying new things and making them in all different sorts of ways. But eating healthy foods actually can absolutely crowd out the sugar cravings. So in my 5-day Whole Foods cleanse, it's all about adding in all the nutrient-dense food for 5 days. So at the end of 5 days, you're like, oh my gosh, there's cookies in the break room, and I don't even want it because the meals are planned for you, that you know that you're going to have vegetables and all of those. And it's really hard to get, if you eat like 5 servings of fruit and vegetables a day and then you want to binge on ice cream, there is only so much room in your belly. So fill up with the vegetables. Oh, let's see, cucumbers, leafy greens, asparagus, carrots, red peppers, pumpkins, green beans. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, and then Kathy said, I love all your veggie recipes for my detoxes. Oh, thank you. Yes. Let's see, the next tip number 9 is just to eat naturally sweet food. We crave sweet food. We have it in our taste buds, and God gave us naturally sweet food, so enjoy these foods. Enjoy the sweet potatoes. Enjoy the squash. And I always think like we can actually squash out the cravings, right, by eating the squash. So there's carrots, onions, beets, blueberries. There's lots of like spices also. Like I love using cinnamon. So, and it's no coincidence, I don't think, that all these sweet foods that I just said are packed with nutrients. So give them a try. I know for me, since I was a junk food eater for so many years, it was like, oh, I've never made beets before, and what do they taste like? And sweet potatoes, and now I don't even eat white potatoes anymore. I only eat sweet potatoes, and I used to have big plates of mashed potatoes. And there's so many different ways to cook vegetables and be creative with them. So if you don't like it raw or cooked, you can always give it another try for a different way. So tip number 10 is to balance your meals. And this is really important, again, to focus on the trifecta of fat, fiber, and protein in all your meals and all your snacks, so you are satisfied, so you are not hungry anymore. So I like today I had a spinach salad, and I thought, okay, I need the fat. Okay, so I added half of an avocado, added some cashews, and then I had lots of veggies for the fiber as well, and then had a hard-boiled egg for some of the protein plus the nuts. So think about what are all the different components that you need to add in. And when I do my Whole Foods cleanse, I always think about that when I'm putting together the recipes and working with the chef on that as well. And so when I run my cleanse, it's amazing. People say, how am I not hungry and I'm on a cleanse? Like, because your body is actually getting the nutrients it needs for the first time and you're feeling great as well. So your body is always struggling to create balance. Harmony is trying to create happiness. And these cravings for other things are just ways of putting your body back together. I used to be like, okay, eat my sugary cereal, then I would need my popcorn. Then I would have my popcorn, need my sugary cereal. So when you can just balance your meals out, it's a much easier way to live. So tip number 11 is just get moving. It is amazing when you just get moving your body, that you're not craving as much food. And so many people, and this used to be me, I'd go from my car, to the garage to driving downtown Minneapolis, and then I would go sit at my desk all day and then drive back home to sit on the couch. And I wasn't getting any exercise. So think about throughout the day, how can you get movement? I work with a lot of companies on their corporate fitness, and so it's about having walking meetings instead of sit-down meetings. It's about adding, 2 treadmills in the office. It's skyways. It's doing things that may inspire some other coworkers. So I have one company that every hour on the hour they get up and they just do a little jiggle dance, for about 30 seconds, and then they get back to work. So you can have some of your own fun and motivate some of your employees as well. So the next one, let's see, tip number 12 is have a plan. So have a plan of whether you bring your snacks to work or your lunch, but what's going to happen when there's cookies in the break room? What is your plan? For me, I like to usually have just like a little bag of nuts with some raisins in it. So when I'm hungry, I have something that is going to be healthy, that's going to satiate that hunger, because we all know sometimes our day doesn't go as planned and we might need to run and get something quickly. Or you can grab it from your purse or from your briefcase and have a little snack. I almost always grab an apple or banana if I to put in my car if I'm going from one thing to the next. Yeah, Kathy's saying some crunchy carrot sticks is always a great thing as well. So think about the time of day that's the hardest for you first. So for me, it's like 3 o'clock. That's when most people are, and that's when I always try to have like a sweet cup of, Slim blueberry green tea, or a cup of throat coat tea that has some licorice in it, or my apple with the almonds. So what is going to be your plan of action? And know where to get these healthy, quick meals. I just got off a vacation in Florida, and we ate healthy the entire week. And that's because we researched, we figured out where all the healthy, restaurants were, where were the co-op grocery stores, because sometimes we did need something quick, just going to Whole Foods, going through the buffet. So have that action plan ready for you. And if you want to, indulge, ask a friend, share your meal when you're dining out, or maybe seek a health coach for some added support. And I would love to hear from you in the chat room now. What is your action plan? What is something that you think that you can add into your day? So this workshop, it was an abbreviated workshop of my 60 or 90-minute How to Kick the Sugar Habit. But I hope that you all got some great tips. And I really want you to think about, again, that low-hanging fruit. What's a tip that you can put into action today? And how are you going to put it into action? We are all more accountable when we share our plans with other people. So just by posting it online, you are more accountable to yourself because you're telling everybody, this is what I am going to do. So write it down, tell your friends, tell your family in the house right now with what your plan is, and come up with the action plan. So Jennifer says she's going to add more water and exercise into my day. So Jennifer, I would love to hear, how are you planning to add more water and exercise into your day? And when you get too busy for exercise, what is your plan? Edie says, awesome tips. Thanks, Lori. Yeah, having a snack with me is the key. Stephanie says, I'm with you, Jennifer. More water and exercise into the day. Yeah, and for me, I think it's always easier to add things in than to take away. Bridget says, add more vegetables to my diet and replace my Mountain Dew with water infused with essential oils. Ah, Bridget, that sounds wonderful. Please keep me posted on how that is going. Stephanie says, prepping my meals as well. Yeah, when we can plan ahead and prep. I go through this extensively with my Whole Foods cleanse in my training webinar on how to plan and prep for success. Jennifer says, oh, let's see, Darlene says she's going to start a craving journal. Jennifer says, set a timer on my work calendar to move several times throughout the day and then drink water after a short 5-minute walk. Yes, that sounds great. Yeah, Bridget's going to keep a craving journal too. Oh, that's wonderful. I would love for you all to keep me posted on how things are going. Yeah, Holly says, keep a case of water in your car. Okay, for those of us in Minnesota, we may not be able to do that one, but we can grab a bottle of water here and there because Holly, I'm with you. I always have water on me. I have it in my purse. I constantly have a water bottle on me so that when you're thirsty, when you're at the grocery store, you have no excuse. Karen said, listen to my cravings and what they are trying to tell me and not just eat something. And Karen, that's one of the hardest ones around. So that is wonderful. Oh gosh, there's lots coming in. So let me, let's see. Francis said, meal plan and make protein balls for snacks. Yeah, I love my balls. I love to make healthy ones. Anne says, knowing my week time of the day, 3:30, either take a walk or drink water and distract myself. Right on. Kathy says, excellent tips, Lori. I want to try the essential oils with water as a treat. Jennifer, how do you set the timer on your calendar? I need to take breaks from my computer time. Yeah, and I think, yeah, it could probably be something you could figure out because I think Kathy has a Mac. So Jennifer, you might have a PC. Jody says prep snacks. Yes, cut up veggies so easy to grab. Yeah, I like go to the grocery store and I just try to keep things out and just prep everything. And a lot of times I just put on like an Amazon Prime or Netflix video or sometimes an inspirational healthy video while I prep. Jennifer said, craving journal and prep better snacks for work. Oh, Ron says, what are the dates for your next cleanse? Oh, thank you for asking. Okay, so we're going to come back to some questions, but I do have a cleanse coming up, and it is January 21st through the 25th, and it's so amazing. I've been doing these for a couple years now, and so I've had so many success stories of people kicking the sugar habit during these 5 days, adding in these nutrient-dense foods. So I have 2 different live webinars from it, and they're interactive in a smaller group. And so one starts before, so it teaches you about the recipes and how to pick your own meal plan that works for your family or for yourself, how to grocery shop, how to prep, how to think about the roadblocks that you might encounter and the action plans that you would have for that. So there's over 40 different recipes, and the reason why I include a ton of recipes for only 5 days, and you will double some of those up, is because everybody has different tastes. Some people eat meat, some people don't. Some people have kids that are more picky that need more milder recipes. Some people are chefs and they want to have more complex recipes. So that is all great. But it's me group coaching everyone. We have this fabulous Facebook group, and this is always my favorite time when we are all in the Facebook group and everyone is encouraging each other. And sometimes people post and they're like, I want a cookie and I want it now. And then you have all these people saying, oh, grab an apple, drink some water, go outside for a walk. So there's tons of support. People lose between 2 to 14 pounds in that 5 days. But the biggest point of this 5-day Whole Foods cleanse is not just the 5 days. On the last day, I have another training webinar, and this is all about you looking into what happened this last week with your cravings and how you feel. When you emotionally connect to why you want to make a change, it's easier to make a change. So you're deciding, okay, I have more energy. This feels great. I have my why. A lot of times people focus on, I just want to lose weight. And it doesn't always get the results. But when you can decide on how you actually feel, it's much better. So I have a meal plan, I have handbooks, I have tons of bonus guides on what to do when you're going out to eat, if you want to deepen the detox even more. So there's so much that I'm very organized. So I give you more than what you need, but I'd rather have more support for you than enough. So enrollment is open now, and I have an early bird special happening. And so come to mindfulhealthwithlori.com, and that's the 5-day detox. And I'm just going to put that in the chat room as well. But you can sign up today, and then you get the early bird rate, which is $20 off. So today it's going to be $77 instead of the $97. Okay, the link is in there, so you can click right on that. And also here is, I'm just going to minimize myself here. Here's all of my contact information. If the detox is not for you, or maybe you want a little bit extra support, I will have health coaching openings coming up probably in the next 3 weeks. So if you are interested to see what health coaching would look like, or if we're going to be a good fit, please let me know, and I would love to meet with you. I would love to gift all of you a complimentary 30-minute discovery session. And those sessions are just like this, over the video where we both are talking. It's actually me listening more than talking. They're by phone. That we also can sit down if you live in the South Metro in Minnesota. But it's just talking about you and talking about, basically, if you had a magic wand and 6 months from now, you could be the person you've always imagined. What would that be like? And then talking about the goals of what it would take to be that, to go there. So that is lots of opportunities here for you. And I'm just going to close this screen here. And if anybody has any questions, I would love to take any more questions here. And let's see. Oh, there's lots. Oh my goodness, lots of comments here. Let's see. Oh, okay. There's lots of different things about the timer. Yeah, and Kathy says she loves grilled veggies. And oh, yes, Kathy just tried out a new salad that's going into this new year, new you Whole Foods cleanse, and it's a pomegranate salad that I brought out at the holidays and refined, but it's so yummy. It's so good. Jody says, love Lori's cleanse. Yes, so I've ran this many times, and each season I bring in the ingredients from the season that we're in. Great recipes, Jody says, and she lost weight too. Kathy says she loves the cleanse. She's learned so many great recipes to use on a regular basis. Yeah, that's a great one. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Kathy, because so many people, they use these recipes and then their family likes it and they're like, wow, I'm just going to keep making this chicken curry now. This is going to be in the rotation. And so when you find those recipes that are healthy, that are also so delicious, a lot of people think healthy food doesn't taste good. That's how my mindset was. And so when you put in a lot of different spices and add in food that maybe you haven't tried before, it's pretty amazing that it tastes great and you feel great as well. Oh, let's see. Anne says, I missed the first part. Is it on your website? Yeah, my website, Anne, is, I'm just going to put on here, mindfulhealthwithlori.com. And then if you want to look for the detox, just put in work with me in the heading, and you can see one-on-one coaching. I do wellness workshops. If you want me to come into your company, I would love to inspire you and inspire your coworkers. I've written over 25 workshops. So I would love to see you soon. I'm going to be at Soul Fest in Rosemont for a public one on January 19th. And I'll also be the keynote speaker at the Edina Chamber of Commerce, and that is in mid-January. And so I think those are my only public ones that are coming up for January. Let's see, Jennifer says, I had to join late. Could you talk about the relationship between sugar and yeast in the body? So Jennifer, maybe you and I can connect because that's a pretty big topic. That's That's about a 20-minute answer on that. And Kathy said, wonderful information. People are saying thank you. So if you have any questions, please contact me directly. So my email address is info@mindfulhealthwithlori.com, or again, you can come to my website at mindfulhealthwithlori.com. But I hope that you enjoyed hearing some of these tips to help curb the sugar craving, and would love to work with you and help you along your health journey. Everyone's saying thank you, thank you, thank you, and I hope you all feel grateful to yourselves for tuning in today. I think that's always the first step, is understanding that you want to make your life better by curbing the sugar cravings, and that is the first step. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.